Hello everyone, welcome to From the Heart. I'm Joshua.
And I'm Mary.
And we're excited to bring to you all that's new and good when it comes to the arts in Central Florida.
Today we're hearing from Mitzi Maxwell, Executive Director of Mad Cow Theater. We'll learn some of her most treasured memories of the theater and maybe even hear some fun stories.
Oh, Mitzi, there's so much I want to learn about you because you are a great leader in our arts community. But just tell us a little bit how you got started in theater. What are your earliest memories of falling in love with the arts?
Well, I actually grew up in Central Florida, and I think in some ways my story parallels the entire area. I grew up here, and I started studying piano and dance from a very early age. And as I got into high school, I really had to choose between, was I going to be a musician or was I going to be a theater artist? So thankfully, because of the Walt Disney Organization, I got a scholarship that let me go anywhere I wanted to in the world. Can you imagine that? I mean, it was amazing.
You were one of the scholarship winners from Disney, so you were
A
a terrific
long time
student
ago.
in high school.
Yes.
Wow.
And, you know, and writing the essay.
Those are hard.
And at that time, and this has been a while, right? These scholarships, there were a couple of them every year. And because my mother had worked for Walt Disney World, I was able to apply. And so it gave me this wonderful opportunity. So I chose New York. And I went to New York University. And then I actually did two things. I was on scholarship at the Joffrey Ballet, and I went to Tisch School of the Arts all at the same time.
Well, you were also a dancer?
Yes, exactly.
And a musician and an actor.
Tell
all
us
those
about
things.
that. So you started as a ballerina.
I
mean, the
did,
ballet
I
school.
did.
Triple
So
threat.
when I got to New York, you know, this was an amazing thing because Tisch School of the Arts is really one of the most fantastic art schools, I think, on the planet. And so I was in Greenwich Village and I had my eyes opened. And New York was a wonderful place to be. And I sort of, at one point, put down my ice cream scoop from, you know, scooping ice cream on Main Street as a high school student, right, at the Magic Kingdom, and went up to New York, and a couple days later I was at the bar at the Joffrey Ballet, and it was an amazing time for me. But over that those next 10 years, I toured with a couple of Broadway shows. I was a choreographer, and I got to see the country. And
Tell us the Broadway shows that you toured with.
well, I toured with the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. I also choreographed the first production of A Chorus Line after it left Broadway.
my.
Brigadoon. So there's a number of shows that I was able to see the country with. And then I came back to New York and ultimately moved back to Central Florida and got more into administration. And many people know me as one of the 3 people that started the entertainment department at Universal Studios Florida. Sarah Whitten, Bob Brandenburg, and I were there when it was just a pile of dirt in the late 80s. And it was an amazing thing to help build Universal. And I was there for about a decade, and then nonprofit arts and art started calling again, and I came back and joined Mad Cow Theater.
What an interesting life. I mean, you've lived a rich artistic life.
Well, I think one of the most important things about being an artist is change. And so being able to move in many ways, not just physically, but spiritually and creatively, to be able to look in many different areas and draw inspiration from people, places, I think is really important. And I've had the opportunity to do that.
How have you seen the arts change Orlando? As the arts have grown, how have you seen our Orlando change?
It's just gotten so much more diverse. And many people don't realize the embarrassment of riches that we have here in Central Florida, all because of the theme parks. Because Universal and Disney have invested so much in live entertainment, people from other areas of the country have come here, and that if one person moves, usually there's a person or two with that person. And so we have an amazing number of talented artists here. I look at us, we're sort of 4th in the country in terms of number of artists. New York, Chicago, and LA, and then it's Orlando. We have amazing talent here. And I think that's one reason why many theaters in Central Florida are so successful, is because we have a great talent pool to choose from. And not a lot of people in Central Florida realize that this is something to be really proud of. And every day I thank the theme parks, and I also thank all the entertainment managers at both parks because they make it possible, of course, with the other performers, for people to be a part of productions at Orlando Shakes, Mad Cow, Winter Park Playhouse, etc.
Yeah, that's some great insight into how the community is changing and what has really been an influence on the arts here. You know, but as an arts administrator, you get sometimes bogged down with all the administration, and you need to still find that creative outlet. So for you, Mitzi, what feeds your soul? How are you still creative? What do you still have your hands in that allow you to do that?
Picking the season is one of the most important things that I do to, you know, take care of myself. I also adore the casting process. We audition over 750 people a year right now. And of course, there are many, many people that come to our auditions. And I like to look at actors that come as also the theater's muse, because you can see an actor in an audition and go, we ought to think about doing that play in a couple of years. So and so might be perfect for that in next season. So it's a really wonderful process to get back in touch with artists is during the audition process. So picking the season and the auditions are my favorite things.
Did you by any chance feel that way about Philip Nolan for Amadeus? Was he not amazing in that?
Amazing, amazing. You know, Philip is one of the most wonderful, beloved artists here in Central Florida. And he has done some amazing things, not only for Mad Cow, but Orlando Shakes, not to mention Walt Disney World. And
I get emotional just thinking about him. He's just
I
such a
understand
special
completely.
person.
We always look forward to having him in one of our plays. He's done things like Henry Higgins in My Fair Lady. We were collaborating with the Philharmonic a lot about 4 years ago, and we did, I think, 8 different collaborations, and Philip was in a couple of them, and that was really a treat. It was a pleasure.
Talking about emotional takeaways, I know that's something that's really important to you as an artist and as a leader. Talk a little bit about that, and what do you hope that people who come to see Mad Cow are part of that journey? What will they take away?
Well, I think when people come to the theater, that we hope that they're bringing their emotional side with them. Not just their brains, but also their hearts. And of course, that's one of the themes of this program. And I just wanted to thank you so much for having this program, because it accentuates something that we do, which is having people participate in the arts with their heart. And so not only are artists creating from their heart, but we hope that audience members will come in and feel these stories, imagine themselves in the stories. So in terms of emotional takeaway, there's a whole range of emotions that are built into plays, and we love developing them, expanding on them, and giving access to the audience to all of these different areas of the heart.
That's a great word. Give us some advice on leadership. What is some advice you can tell us about being a leader that you've learned?
Well, first of all, if this was easy, more people would be doing it.
That's true.
But you know, there are a lot of people out there that are here to support the arts. And a lot of times it's about asking for help. So one of the things that I think is really important as a leader is to ask for help and ask for support. As well as the fact is to be open to new ways of doing things. I've been around the theater for almost 14 years now, and I learn something new every day.
And learn from that and take away from that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Someone once said to me that we are as successful as to the amount that we are willing to ask for what we need.
Exactly. There are many ways up the mountain, and I think that allowing people to find their way up the mountain is very important.
Well, Mitzi, it's been so fun learning about you, and you're an incredible arts leader here in our community. So thank you for sharing some advice and inspiring us.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mitzi.
you. Great to be here.
The good news is we're going to be back with Mitzi and hear a little bit more about her, what her plans are for the future, and Mitzi's plans for Mad Cow. Thank you for joining us from the Heart.